Ever wanted to make something? Of course you have. Everyone wants to make something at some point in their life. Even if you're not a creative person, I'm sure you've yearned to create something without even realizing it. Plenty of people want to create, but why don't they? What's stopping them? They didn't listen to Ken Ashcorp. In this video, I want to discuss how Ken Ashcorp's music taught me to create what I truly wanted to create. And by the end of this video, I want to convince you that you should be making what you want to make, and not what somebody else wants you to make. I think Stan Lee said it best when he said, if you have an idea, don't let some idiot talk you out of it. But I think what Stan says immediately after this quote carries so much more weight than the quote itself.
You can only do your best work if you're doing what you want to do, and if you're doing it the way you think it should be done.
There are two important factors in finding success as a creator today. The first is the pursuit of ideas that most wouldn't think of. There is an overwhelming amount of media available today. You can't just base your idea on what already works, because people are just going to consume the media that already works. Why play a Mario clone when I could just play Mario? The second most important factor in finding success is the ability to handle criticism. And this is deeper than you might think. Your first instinct when taking criticism shouldn't be to immediately fix what is being critiqued. Your first instinct should, instead, be to evaluate the criticism that you're facing, and see if you agree with it. Let's say someone says my character's hair feathers don't make sense. Technically, they're correct. If my style obeyed the rules of perspective, the hair feathers should be drawn in the middle of my head. Okay, that's a valid criticism. Let's change it. Oh. You see, sometimes just because you do something the correct way, the way that most people imagine, doesn't mean you'll always end up with an appealing result. So it's okay to experiment with criticism and see what you think, but in the end product should entirely be the result of your own decisions, and not somebody else's. The TLDR? Criticism should be something you consider, not something you heed as gospel. So, what did any of that have to do with Ken Ashcorp? Well, what if I told you I'm a British guy who wants to make overly sexual songs about video games and anime? Would you want to listen to my music? The odds are so stacked against Ken Ashcorp, it's crazy. The collective consciousness of the internet hates furries and British people by default. If you've used social media for any amount of time, you'd know how socially acceptable it is to dunk on these groups. Additionally, most have grown tired of the hypersexualized nature of the internet, and the vast majority of Ken's songs have a sexual theme to them. Absolute Territory, for example, his most popular song, focuses entirely on his love of thighs. So, on paper, Ken is doing everything wrong, and nobody should like him. And yet, the numbers don't lie. People fucking love Ken Ashcorp, which leads me to our next category. So, you have your idea, and despite most people telling you that you shouldn't do it, you decide to do it anyway. Where do you go from here? Well, my friend, that is up to you. Since you genuinely believe in this idea that you have chosen, now it's time to ride or die with it. Because if you half-ass it, your critics will be proven right. When Ken Ashcorp decided, hey, I want to make a song about Monster Girl Quest, he went all out. He didn't make some insecure joke song with terrible instrumentals and irony-drenched lyrics. He worked long and hard to make instrumentals that really slap, and he sung those embarrassing lyrics with pride. And the end result? An absolute fucking banger of a song with somewhat problematic lyrics for the majority of the internet. But who cares? Execution is all about being completely unfazed by the judgmental glare of society. If you already know you're in the wrong when producing a piece of art, then fuck it. Be in the wrong and own it. If you can't embrace your own ideas and see them through, how do you expect anyone else to enjoy them? When creating art, you need to be able to be confidently weird. And that is something that I've struggled with myself for years now. I've been weird my entire life. That much is true. However, I don't think I've been confident in my weirdness. Oftentimes, I would find myself changing both my art and my personality for the sake of others. Oops, my friends think anime is cringe. Guess I'm not allowed to watch it anymore. Oops, I think I might have drawn this character's boobs a bit too big. Better reduce the size so nobody thinks I'm a gooner. What's that? Twitter found out about the coffin of Andy and Lele and they don't like it. I guess it's time to stop making cartoons about it. You need to kill the part of you that fears being cringe. It's a close relative to the part of you that fears failure, and both of these